that sounds good. Look at you got a nice little setup here.
Thank you. Yeah,
dope.
I tried.
I love it.
It's a budget friendly. It works.
Dude, you know what? Now you can do all kinds of things, budget balling, and it still sounds... I produce a podcast for a friend of mine as a favor. It's called Midlife Surfer. He records it on his phone. And like you listen to it, it gets great listens. Like he gets people donating to it. He records it, literally talks into his phone. I keep telling him, like, get him something like this, you know?
Yeah, the P4, the Zoom
it works. It's great.
It's mobile. Yeah, I mean, you can use the PC-based one, but I feel like the sound quality through any sort of, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of expensive ones too.
No, totally. I have the Rodecaster, which I love.
Yeah, that's probably the next step, but
yeah,
I don't know. This works.
It's got mic processing in it too. It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right.
How many listens are we getting per episode? Ish. Off the record. Just between us.
Asking me some.
Well, you don't have to air this part. Just.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. Looking through the algorithms is really tough to see, but the downloads, right? So I just see the downloads.
Yeah.
So I've had 2,200 downloads.
Totally. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Up to this point.
That's fantastic.
That's this year.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand. I don't understand the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything new when it comes to any sort of business in the world. It's like
I know.
You're trying to figure out the numbers and you're like, what does this mean? Is this good? Is this bad?
I know.
You know? And I was like, is anybody listening? And what's a download? And then it's like, you have 22 active listeners. Like, I've had 2,200 downloads, but 22 active listeners. I don't understand I don't
what they define as an active listener. Maybe that's someone who's like listened to, I don't know. Either, yeah. I mean, 2,200 complete over all the episodes. And then you figure, maybe there's, cause I'll see on mine, it's like, they just define it differently. It's like, maybe like people who listen to, 65 or 70% or more of the episode.
Yeah.
The timing your episodes is a whole thing too. So,
and then they got to listen to the whole thing too, right? Kind of like YouTube. YouTube's a whole. I don't even understand YouTube.
YouTube's another one. YouTube's like you get credit for a view if they've watched 2 to 9 seconds or something. You know what I mean? But then your algorithm goes up if they reach 60, 70% of it, or of course if they finish it, get to the end. So that can even increase.
And it changes everything.
More. Yeah.
I don't. All that stuff's like. Watching the numbers is like so difficult for me
because you have we do this because we like it.
Yeah,
because we have.
That's
fun.
The only reason why. And I only started kind of watching it as of recently, as far as the numbers, because I was kind of curious. Like, I wonder what it's doing. Like,
sure.
And then it's like, oh, you got listeners in 50 different countries. It's like, really?
That's crazy cool.
Rad.
Good for you. Yeah. See, that's cool.
How did that happen?
Yeah. So and I'm only speaking one language.
Yeah. But don't think about that. It's like the first time I ever got on the radio. You start instantly thinking about everybody listening. Right.
Yeah. One of the best things I learned about radio, I don't know if we're on right now or not, but one of the best things I learned about radio is to consider that you're just talking to one person. And in the beginning, I had somebody tell me like, okay, who is your demographic for, say, this radio station?
Yeah.
Maybe like 32-year-old female or whatever. Put a picture of a 32-year-old female right in front of you and talk to her. So you don't say words like, and I encourage you with this podcast, avoid words like everyone, hey, y'all, hey, everybody, you all out there. No, you're talking to one person. You're talking to the other person listening to us right now. And when you treat it like that, it glorifies all the amazing magic of radio that secures it as a broadcast medium, but as an intimate medium. That's what's most important.
Yeah.
Radio is an intimate medium.
I like that.
You just treat it like you're talking to one person. Use words like you.
It's good for the psyche too.
Totally. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It helps you relax a little bit,
I encourage people to look at their social media that way too. Sometimes you'll see people who do a post on Facebook like, have you all ever, like, people think like on their social media that they're like broadcasting to 1 trillion people. Like, no, you're not. Really,
it's one person.
It's one pair of eyes
Yeah.
that you want to absorb that, embrace that, whether like it, comment on it. You're talking to one person. That's the way you look at it.
Yeah. That's great. So yeah, I pushed record a little while ago just so.
I don't care. I'm good.
We're just rolling. So I guess on that note, let's get the introduction because I'm really good at that.
Let's go ahead. Good.
So Adam Montiel here, local. So radio broadcaster.
Yeah.
Extraordinaire, I would say.
That's very kind. I will take that.
So someone I've listened to growing up in this area for a very long time. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Your Up and Adam program, man. It was like. There had been at least a year I answered my phone every day at 8 o'clock in the morning.
No way.
Oh, yeah, just waiting for it.
I'm Jimmy and I'm Up and Adam in the morning. so
and then
good.
people call me like, what did you just say?
That is
damn it, I didn't win.
Oh, you made my day with that. That's pretty funny. Yeah. So for folk, for you listening, it's like there was a promotion we did called the Cell Phone Salute. You'd sign up for it. And then when that time would roll around, I would go off the list of all the people that signed up, just call one at random. And if they said, hey, I'm Jimmy and I'm up and Adam in the morning, they would win whatever prize from the sponsor it was or whatever. But
Yeah.
great bit. It was fun.
It was cool.
And I can't believe you're like answering your phone like that. That was so awesome. I love it.
I couldn't have been the only one, right?
No, not at all. No,
there had to have
it's
been.
so funny the stories I hear of that, but
Yeah.
it's been a minute since because that's a great cell phone salute. I love it.
The old cell phone. Well, it's like, who calls you at 8 o'clock in the morning for the most part, on your
Right.
cell phone? It's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, this has got to be, but I, selling cars all the time, and never. So I was like, I always have random numbers calling me, local 805 numbers.
And then everyone's got caller ID now.
Yeah.
So then you got to like hide the number, *67 or whatever you do. And,
Yeah. Well, for you I guess that would make sense. Because
Yeah.
otherwise they would know right away.
Sure.
And the whole thing is like to get them to say it to people that aren't you.
Right. Yeah. But then what we would do is if they didn't say, hey, I'm Jimmy or whatever their name is, and I'm up and Adam in the morning, we would mess with them. Prank, we crank call them.
Right.
And that would bring up because I've been doing prank calls since I was a kid, like old Jerky Boy stuff. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah. So we would seriously mess with someone and just try and string it onto one that either got it or it just got so far where I just let them off the hook. It was great.
That's enough punishment for today.
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Jerky Boy. It was fun. I was just went down a rabbit hole of the Jerky Boys this last weekend on YouTube, and they got the Mechanics Kit one. It's like, oh my God, it's just so
Frank Rizzo.
It's just so verbatim of yeah. And I want to say it's like exactly what we deal with every day in the shop, but it's like, man, it really strikes a chord. But it's like, it doesn't matter. They're so good with all their different industries. Like it strikes a chord with everybody. You know what I mean?
It does.
So I wanted to bring you in and talk about a little bit of marketing. And then obviously you don't have a whole lot of mechanical experience as far as automotive.
What makes you say that? I don't look strong and able?
You look strong and able.
What are you trying to... No, I did tell you.
Well, you came in on a bicycle, so I figured your car didn't run.
No, it's funny because my dad was he's still around, but he's so great at cars. And the two things I regret, I remember telling you this on the phone when we've met, the two things I regret not really just absorbing from him was one, Spanish, because he's from Mexico City and I don't speak fluent Spanish. I know enough to get me in trouble, but I don't speak fluent Spanish. And then his knowledge of cars, which I've always been admirable. And any dude who can, look at something, identify. I mean, I could change front brakes or something, but, I'm coming to you with a wheel bearing issue with my fiance's car. So it's like, and my dad was always really good at that.
That seems to be kind of the pattern too, as far as learning, and we're kind of losing that generation.
Well, cars don't want you to work on them anymore. You open the hood, it's like a shell, and you don't even know what's inside anymore.
Yeah. And how do you feel on that side as a client and you're looking to go buy a new vehicle? Is that something that keeps you away from a new vehicle, wants you to keep an old one on the road?
I mean, a new vehicle has its pluses because ideally you won't have to see professionals like you for a while, hopefully, right? Because the car's going to run good. But no, I mean, I feel bad. I really enjoyed meeting you because it's nice to meet people in an industry where for a long time your industry has been, unfortunately kind of marred with be cautious. They're going to get you. Or you'd see those those consumer advocate stories of, we sent a woman into the mechanic shop and look what so it's like, and I'm sure those
the old
are
2020 ads.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, when you take an expertise that you have that not a lot of people do, it leaves a lot of room open for that kind of stuff to go down. And, that was kind of one of those things that people had to worry about. So that's why, it would leave my dad to say, that's why you got to know how to do your front brake set. I'm like, come on, it's why you got to know how to do X, Y, and Z. So no, I really revere people who have that kind of mechanical, spirit and acumen that you guys do.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And then on that note is being able to take care of basic maintenance items. It's so important. That's why I do the radio show too, right? It's like, if you want to call in, you want to learn it. And I think, there's a big stigma in the industry of guys trying to help, or girls, if they become, skilled in the trade.
Yeah.
They don't want that knowledge being it's a secret. Don't tell anybody how to do that.
Proprietary.
Yeah. Right. And it's no, help. 'Cause not everybody has the mechanical aptitude to take what you're going to tell them and go replace their brakes, right? Go replace the transmission. There's so many intricacies of the vehicle to diagnose, to repair, that, yeah, you could look up a YouTube video and watch it and learn. It's like, you're not going to go do a timing chain on you're like, what?
Exactly. No, and I appreciate that because you've seen that, especially like in Paso. We can, I'm sure over the course of this show, we'll, draw some lineage to like my experience, whether it's in broadcasting or in the wine industry. And what you see people here in the wine industry, and it's part of the reason why this area has grown so exponentially, is just that like open hearts, open cellars, open minds. Like they're willing. Oh, you need a bulldog pup? Oh, I got you. Or you need this? Like I got you. Or they're open to it, and there's other wine regions like say like Napa or this or that, where like you don't see that camaraderie among people, or just like the willingness to like take down the curtain and just be real. So honestly, that's another reason why you specifically, I was like taken to you in a way, because you are like, hey, let's just bring down these curtains. Let's just be real. Let's educate people, because the smarter they are, they can make more informed decisions. So when we need to come to a place like shifting gears, shoot, we can.
Yeah. The parallels through the industries are, I mean, other than maybe the medical field, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but even still in the medical field, like they're practicing medicine. In the law field, right? Like they're practicing law. Like I'm practicing working on cars every day. Like, it's a practice every day.
I really do liken it to those two things, because both of those vocations and professions that you mention are very, you can Google just as much to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
If your mom's in the hospital and you're visiting her and the doctor gives you the line items of what they're dealing with, you start Googling, and that could be a great blessing, and it also can be a great curse. And same thing with your car. I mean, like when someone doesn't know they just know that they want their car to run and soundly, right? Mm-hmm. So no, I mean, really, you're talking about an acumen and a knowledge base that is very much on a unique level as, say, law, medicine,
winemaking.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
I mean, they're learning how to take a certain varietal and mix it and blend it. And I mean, everyone's trying to become the best winemaker, right? Like you want your wine to taste good, right? Like,
yeah, right. Yeah, you want it to taste right. You want it to taste,
and you don't know if it's going to be good for years and years and years later. So you better be skilled. You can't just like make this creation. Hey, I got this wild idea.
You can't just be good at winemaking. You got to be good at farming. Like you don't even start winemaking until you can farm, because it all starts in the vineyard, you know?
Right,
so
right.
yeah, no, it's, and it all kind of starts like what you're talking, maintenance, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, like, if I'm guilty of needing an oil change probably right now, in my car. So,
yeah,
I mean, so there are things there are things that we are guilty of that we could be doing better to make that end product the way it's supposed to be, treating our cars or whatever it is the best.
And yeah, part of it's just not having the time. Everyone's busy. We all have other things that we should be doing.
Yeah.
So part of it's like, okay, well, I could do this maintenance, but I'm going to just take it somewhere where I can trust to have it done.
Yeah.
But then there's the other side of it, was where eventually you're not going to be able to figure something out. Eventually there's going to be a code. There's going to be a problem. There's going to be a broken bolt that eventually you're going to need someone that's very skilled to be able to maneuver, do whatever it takes to complete that repair. Right. And so for me, hiring like a plumber to do my water heater at my house, like I'm just going to, I could probably put a water heater in, right? It's not the hardest thing in the world. But what happens when I have a leak that I can't figure out? I got a stopped up drain that I can't declog, right? So I'm going to just have them do the water heater, and then I have someone to call when I have a major problem. Because I think a lot of people wait, right? It's like not having that's like not having a doctor and then needing to go get like heart surgery, right? Like you don't even have anybody how to call or trust, or like you're just going right in for the most like
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's totally true.
With a car, like they just suspend this vehicle maintenance and then their transmission fails. It usually comes to us, right? Because we're a transmission specialist, but they aren't really. There's not a lot of other options. Like they just have to get it fixed, and sometimes they're in the middle of the valley. And it's like whoever's close, right? Yeah. It's like you don't have someone you can call. You don't have a shop that you've been using for the last 10 years. You don't have this network that you've built by just getting your maintenance done, right? Sure, you could do it cheaper, but it's all about making the connections, right? Like
it totally is. I'm so glad you put it that way, because it's almost like a vet. Like a lot of people look at their vet. We have a dog. They look at their vet as like, oh, it's my vet. Like it's almost like my doctor. Well, I look at a vet like, I got one in Paso, I got one in Pismo, I got one in Slow, and I've gained relationships with them over the last like 10, 15 years where I could text any of them right now. And then it's like, if something happens to Georgie, could we go there? Do we go here? Like, and then you feel trust. You trust them because again, here's veterinary practices are in alike what we're talking about, law and medicine and auto mechanics. Like, you don't know what you're doing. All you know is you want your dog to be healthy and happy and be okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you know that these are likely going to be like your car, like your law services and like your medicine services. They're likely going to be expensive. So how can we find a person we trust? How can we dial it in and be as educated as possible? If you can do that for a customer, you are by far further than a lot of other people. I really think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a lost art. For one,
does it feel like that to you?
I do.
Yeah.
I feel like I've always felt like I've been a little different.
Really? That's interesting. I almost like want to start interviewing you now. Because it's really interesting aspect of it. Because I mean, there are mechanics and garages everywhere.
Yeah,
and it's interesting to see how one stands out from another.
It's difficult too to continue on that path, and it's the right thing to do. The hard part is, you want to be fair, right? And being fair in your mind is giving everybody a cheap service, right? Like, make it as cheap as possible. But you realize that's not the way you can pay your employees to have trusting employees and trusting technicians and technicians that you can pay to go to training and learn the latest and greatest and buy the nice tools to get the job done right and not, half-ass stuff. And it's this evolving process over the years where you realize, like, the only way I can get the shop and the technicians to do the job right, diagnose the vehicle correctly, is to get the money. And there isn't a tree out back, right? Like our dad's always taught us,
right.
Ain't no money tree in the back. So the money has to come through the door. But with that, then you got to provide the service so that the clients coming in are happy with paying for that service. Right? Because you can't just up your prices and say, okay, well, I got to charge this to pay for these guys. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Now you have to raise the level of competence in the office and have people that are smiling all day, that answer the phone with a smile, that are not like, hey, I'm in the middle of a quote, I'll call you back, right? Like, you can't do that.
Right.
And so the whole shop has to elevate. And for a long time, you look around and you're like, hey, what's this guy doing? What's this guy's charging? How's this guy doing? And you walk into their shop and see how they're communicating with their customers. And then when you start realizing that doesn't matter anymore, and you just start focusing on what you're doing and what you have to provide to get that money through the door, to pay your technicians, to keep the business evolving, you don't even care what anybody's doing anymore. Like, I do not care what that guy charges per hour, because it doesn't matter to me. This is what I want to do. This is what I have to charge to pay my guys this much, because this is how skilled they are.
But you also have to be fully cognitive of, some folks are going to be shopping around,
right?
And maybe they don't, maybe they don't get the blessing of working with you and having you fix their car. Obviously, you guys know what you're doing here and stuff. But I mean, even someone I am very much like, I want to meet the person. I want to like feel like where are we going? Ask some questions. I ask way too many questions. I always have since I was a kid. Those things weigh into me going, okay, let's bring our business there.
Yeah.
Or let's not.
And the communication process is the most important part. And if I don't have the time to conversate with you, then you're probably going to go somewhere else anyway. So even if I was the cheapest in town and I got to be out there busting my knuckles and working alongside with everybody else just to get enough cars out to pay payroll, I'm not going to have the time to have a conversation with you and tell you, hey, this is our process. This is what we do. You're more welcome to go anywhere. So it's like having that breathing room and that time to like engage with the client is how it's like a full circle, right?
One thing we always
have to charge enough to be able to do that.
No, totally. You're right. One thing we always talk about in radio is like smiling. Like if you're reading a commercial, you smile because you literally can hear.
Isn't that crazy?
A smile.
Yeah.
And when I was talking to Leanne, I've never talked to somebody who I could literally hear a smile coming over the phone, talking about my car and how much I'm gonna have to pay for it and when can I get it in. Like, and she is just happy and enthusiastic, and I could tell she is smiling on the other end of that phone. I literally heard it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And that's gold. I mean, and to keep that, I don't know how to put that into words, to train that, like, that's the most difficult thing, right? And it's just like anybody that's on broadcasting on radio, it's like, there's just a subtle nuance of like being able to have someone come on the radio.
It's a je ne sais quoi. It's like that one. It's like hospitality. It's like
that one flavor in that wine. What is that?
You can teach someone how to be hospitable, but real hospitality comes from your chest. It comes from your heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when someone has that, and yes, of course, you notice it in wine and, whether you go stay at that nice hotel or the beautiful restaurant, but like if you can come to a place that, man, because fixing your car is by all accounts a stressful and not a joyous situation.
Right.
It's like going to the dentist. I got to do it, but I'm not looking forward to it. And when you can have a pleasant experience and have real hospitality being afforded to you, what was the first thing you said? You're not even open right now. First thing you said was like, you like coffee? Oh, there's some coffee. Oh no, I like water. Okay, there's some water right there. Like you were hospitable right from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and those things matter.
Yeah. And it parallels back to like your first comment of like having that stigma in the industry of like,
I know.
the guys are always mad. They're smoking a cigarette out front, and they're like, "Hey, what do you need?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, it's because he doesn't have any money. Like he's behind on everything.
Yeah.
And he's like, why would he be hospitable when like the business isn't being hospitable to him?
No.
It's just like this vicious cycle,
Sure.
And you don't need to charge an extravagant amount, but you just need to be involved with the numbers. And it goes back to like the parallels of the podcast and like learning the numbers and like how do I make this make sense? Like what does the list? What does all this mean? And that's the hardest part. And everyone doesn't want to suck. Right? But you're going to suck the first time you do anything,
Yeah.
It's like,
No, sure.
you're not going to understand it. And you're not going to understand it for a very long time. And even still the numbers of this day for the shop, like I know enough to now make a little bit of sense of it. Right. But it's always a learning process. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a bookkeeper, but I can have a conversation with them now. It's like, and that's step one,
Do you still find yourself stumped? A certain car, make, model, or just a situation.
Oh, that's
in a car
that's part of life,
you're driving. You hear like you hear something like, God, what? I bet 99% of the time you know exactly. Oh, that's a wheel bearing. Oh, that's a this. Do you ever go like, I have no freaking clue what that is?
Yes and no. That's a really good question. That's interesting because I don't like think about that too much, but it does happen. And that's another one that brings up because they bring the car in. Oh, you want to diagnose it. It's going to be, X amount of money and we're going to have probably an hour or 2 hours, whatever. Wow, you're going to go drive around the parking lot. You'll know what it is right away. It's like, yeah, but you don't.
Doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. Like that's my experience. Yeah. And I'm not always right. So I've done that before. It's like, that sounds like a wheel bearing. It's a little different, right? And you pull it apart and you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, it is a wheel bearing. Or it's like, this wheel bearing looks fine, actually. And it's like,
no.
Oh yeah, and so that's part of the process. And like with automatic transmissions, right? I've done enough of them where I can drive them and I can feel something wrong. I'm like, oh, that's going to be the 3.5 reverse piston cracked in the drum, or that's something that feels like a bad converter. Dang. That feels like whatever.
No
like
way.
I got a pretty good idea of what I'm going to find when I tear it apart. Am I right? Like half the time, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Just no way.
Right.
I mean, sure, if it's gotten a reverse and it's a certain model GM, it's like most likely the reverse band's broken.
It's like a back surgeon going, I definitely think that's C5 or that's
right.
L4, like I don't know.
But until you get in there, like of course you don't know.
Right.
And some are easier than others to get in there, but yeah, I mean, I try not to think about that stuff. I'm definitely the type of the like technician mindset where if I hear something in the car, I'm turning up the radio a little bit and like I'm gonna go ahead and on my own car, right? Like I don't need to stress about this right now. Like
sure.
I'm gonna go ahead and not worry about that. And I have that in my mind where once it gets to a certain point, okay, I gotta address this now, right? Anybody else, like I can't give that recommendation out, and it brings up a point because I get some people, hey, think I'm gonna be fine then? Well, if it was mine, it would be fine because
you know cars.
And it's like that je ne sais quoi, right? Like I just know it's going to get to a point where I can, okay, now it needs to be addressed. But most people, they're not going to really know when it's that bad, so it's like, I can't recommend you doing anything.
No, sure.
And I get that call all the time too. Hey, it's doing this and that. Should I just drive it there or should I get it towed? It's like, I highly recommend you just towing it in. Like, cause if you're calling me, it's bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
sure.
most people drive their cars till the brake pads burst through the disc rotors. Like, how long is this making this noise? Oh, about a week. No.
Yeah.
BS. So it's like, if you're calling me, it's probably pretty bad. But then sometimes they come and it's like, that's not even that bad. What are they whining about?
Right.
So yeah, it's an interesting question to because I get stumped and it's just about the mindset of just, oh, well, move on to the next thing. And when you're new, well, not new, but when you're green, you want to be right all the time. Like you want to like, and if you don't get it right, it's just like this gut blow, and you're like, oh, I suck at what I'm doing. I shouldn't be doing this. And you start rethinking all your life decisions. Like, should I really be an auto technician? And maybe I should go bake cupcakes, or like you get all these like, oh, I you know, and yeah, so over time you just learn like you're going to be wrong.
Yeah,
and you just move on to the next step, and it's all about in the diagnostic process of proving your hypothesis, right? You have a hypothesis, and it's all about just getting in and proving that you're right.
Do mechanics normally admit when they're wrong to the customer of that car?
I do. I mean, and that just, I think that just comes with experience and being humble.
Being honest, yeah.
Being honest, yeah. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing in changing the industry, is something that we are actively trying to do. And if you're going to sit there and lie because you can't swallow your own pride, then you should get the hell out of the office, like, you know, or like you shouldn't have contact, because that's not right, you know. And sometimes you make a mistake and then you try to cover that up with something else. Oh, it ended up being this and that. And the other thing is like, no, man, like it's always going to find you. People know when you're lying. And even though if they're not automatically or automotively equipped, they understand. Like they can spot a lie. You can hear it. You know, you can. Yeah,
you feel like something doesn't sound right here.
Right,
yeah,
right,
totally.
Right. And yeah, there's con men out there that are really good at conning that and making. But it's like at the end of the day, it's usually going to come back around, because guess what? They're going to leave and they're going to go ask their dad, or they're going to go ask somebody else that's maybe a little bit more mechanically inclined.
Right.
And they're like, that doesn't sound right. And that right there, you just lost that client.
Yeah.
Forever. Like they're never going to come back.
No.
Right. And
totally
so it's
true.
like, but if I walk up and say, hey, look, so I was wrong. I'm going to go ahead and compensate you for this. We got to keep moving forward. I'm going to need a couple more days.
Yeah.
Most people are going to be pretty cool about that. Oh, that was pretty cool. He actually admitted he was wrong.
Right.
And then they're going to give you extra time with the vehicle too. Because most guys get wrapped up. They like replace a component, didn't fix it. And they're like, I told him this was going to fix it. He's supposed to pick it up by 5, and now you're rushing. And it's like, why are you stressing? You're like, just relax. It's just a car, man. It's just a car. Like, get him a rental if you need to. Like, just relax. You were wrong.
That's a good point.
And I tell the guys that all the time too. Like, you're not paid to be right. I mean, we're paid to do the job right. Like, make sure nothing catastrophic
You're not paid
happens.
to be perfect.
No, exactly. And that's what I tell them. Like, if you're wrong or you break something, you just come tell me, and we'll go figure out how to fix it.
That's cool.
Right? And it's like, then we stop the presses, and I go communicate with the office. Look, because I'm kind of like the in between, right? So I'm kind of like the foreman of the shop, in a sense. So it's like they can come to me, hey, this happened. Because if they go to the office, they're, you know, as far as being mechanically inclined and fixing a situation, that's probably better for me to get in there, because maybe something, hey, you know what, I have this extra part laying around, I got this, we can make this work. But it's just communicate, like, come tell me about it, let's contact the client, let's let them know, and then we can decide what the next step is going to be, you know. And that's if something bad goes wrong.
You got to be pretty creative. I mean, I came in here with a bottle of wine that I wanted to open for it, and I didn't have a wine key. And we're just like, can we get creative with this? And I saw you get a screw, and it's like,
there it is.
I mean, we opened $100 bottle of wine with, that was pretty sick, dude. That was awesome.
I mean, that's part of it too. And that creative mindset, I say this a lot, and I maybe I take a lot of like too much pride in what I do, but I feel like my automotive mindset has allowed my creativeness when it comes to stuff like that to figure out stuff like way beyond vehicles. Like, I just look at things different, and I've realized that through the years. And as I got more and more involved in the automotive field, you know, 10, 15 years ago, it was like every couple of years I realized I just look things at different, you know. People will be sitting there opening a door, right? Like, this is just an example. You walk into a grocery store or a door, and everyone's like pulling the door open. And I look down, there's like a stopper. So I just open the door, I put the stopper in, and then everyone's just walking. It's like things like that. Like, I just look at things a little different. Like, I just watch 15 people like sit there and like navigate this door, and it's like, just put the stopper in. There we go. Yeah. Like, or like something's broken, you know, the smoke detector going off. It's like, just take it off. There's a battery in there. Like, and everyone doesn't want to touch it, you know? I don't know. And maybe it's just me, but I just feel like.
So like, you're the kind of dude, like, if you're in that hotel and your smoke alarm is doing that like chirp every 2-3 minutes.
Oh, the battery's coming out.
You're 100%. You're getting up on the bed, you're reaching up there and doing it.
If the thermostat's over, I'm pulling the cover off. I'm seeing, okay, well, it looks like the resistor wire is broken. I'll put it back on, click it back on. Like, I'm just.
That's awesome.
Like, I'm not calling anybody. Like, I'm just going to figure it out, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know, maybe there's like growing up kind of poor and like learning how to fix the things that are around you. But
was that your dad or what? who
Yeah.
instilled
Oh
this?
yeah. Oh yeah. My dad was like the ultimate handyman.
That's cool.
Like, he was mechanically inclined, but he was by no means a mechanic. And it's like,
Sure.
as I've like evolved in this, I was like, I think about some of the things he taught me. I'm like, oh my God, like he's one of those guys,
Yeah.
but it's like, he figured it out. And he was like the con man kind of ish. So I got the story. He'd always go in and like, he liked to just mess with people. I think we were talking about this when it started recording. Like,
Is he still around?
No, he
really?
passed in 2018.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thanks. He'd go in and like pay for something, and he would strike up a conversation, and he had the gift of gab. He could talk.
Yeah.
So he'd put like a 50 down, right? And like he'd start conversating, kind of slip it back, and he'd have a 20 in his hand. And like when they reached out, because he'd kind of pull him back, so he'd hand him a 20, and he'd like keep eye contact.
Yeah.
And all they saw him was a 50. He didn't see the switch of the 20, right? And then like they would change him out, and like
Yeah.
he changed him out for the 50, and he handed him a 20, and I'd be sitting there like,
Oh, no, Dad. I think that's a crime. That's so funny.
It was a different day and age, This
I
was
know,
like
that's funny.
25 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
and
That's a great story.
Going out and buying cars with him. He'd always like to buy used cars, and it was like
He was smart at it. Yeah.
He's so embarrassing. He was like, "All right, we're leaving then," and it was like the ultimate like
Negotiated because he wasn't afraid to walk away.
no, not at all.
My dad would tell me that all the time. Don't be afraid to walk away.
Yeah, I can't do that. Shit.
My dad would say this: "He who cares the least is in control." That's a good quote. In a lot of ways, in business, you can find that to be true.
Yeah,
You don't get unless you ask. He who cares the least is in control.
yeah, it's old school mentality.
Sure,
I
it
feel
certainly
like,
is.
I feel like that's like old generation. Or,
Yeah, for
or like
sure.
you have Facebook Marketplace, right?
We're talking about our dads. Yeah.
Yeah, you list something. And it's like, "Hi, is this available?" 100,000 times.
Yeah,
And it's
right.
Like,
I know. It's so funny.
people just want like, own it right now, and like the transactional mentality is like what we've been bred as consumers in the last 10 years. And that's
Right.
the other problem when it comes to
Right.
the automotive field is you're shopping for an auto repair like you shop for someone on Amazon. And you're just calling around because you think the only thing that matters is price. But that's not even it. You just don't know how to have that conversation. Like you don't know what to ask when you call a shop.
What do we ask? I want to know because I mean, look. Otherwise, you're kind of coming into it thinking, hopefully, like this is your hope.
Yeah.
Place A, place B, place C, all know how to change. Let's say we're talking about wheel bearings, but stipulating that all places know how to do it and correctly.
Right.
How do I find the one that's going to give me the best service and the best price?
That's the question of all questions.
Yeah.
And that is like the communication thing, right? And it's like the one thing that's probably overlooked the most is like, is someone going to answer the phone, right? And then what do they say when you ask them what the price is? What's their warranty? How do they warranty it? Is it parts and labor? Is everything in-house, right?
So these are the questions to ask.
In my
What's your
opinion,
warranty?
in my opinion, yes.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's hard. And honestly, the person answering the phone should be able to navigate that conversation because everybody is a little different. And so to have an SOP, a standard operating procedure, that when you answer the phone, you're just gonna parrot the same phrase over and over and over. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Everybody's in a different mindset.
Right.
Some people are kind of stressed. Some people are frustrated. Some people are calling for somebody else. Like they don't even have those answers. And so it's really up to the shop to kind of set up a line of defense in a way where you're kind of walking through, okay, well, do you have the VIN number or the license plate? Oh no, I'm calling for some. Okay, well, whoever's paying for the bill, right? Like, let's start with that. Like,
Yeah.
don't call for somebody. And as sad as it is, that kind of weeds out the clients that it's like you're never gonna get there. They're gonna look for the guy on Craigslist. They're gonna look for Facebook, and that's fine. There's a marketplace for that, literally. And it's like, just let that be. There's no.
Is Craigslist a bad place to go if you could find someone who on Craigslist says, "Oh, I'm 6 times certified. I work at a place full time, but just want some extra money." It's a job that, look, you could probably do it in a driveway.
Yeah.
Is that a bad idea?
No, I don't think so. The bad thing is they're not regulated, but a lot of shops aren't either. Like, just because you walk into a brick and mortar doesn't mean they have a business license, doesn't mean they have insurance. It just means they pay rent.
Right. That's
You know
a
what I
good
mean?
point. Right.
Like,
true.
they're not certified. You can go buy a set of Craftsman tools, and you can be a mobile mechanic on Craigslist, or you
Yeah.
can go, pay rent on a spot and move in.
Do you find a lot of the mobile people on Craigslist are like a dude who might have a job like here during the day, but then just moonlighting for some extra cash?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
probably.
they probably know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another like tough topic to talk about because the shop's not paying them enough, for one.
Yeah.
So that's the main problem. But
Good point.
But where does it end? Like, how much money do you need? Like when like everybody wants to make $1 million, everyone wants to make $100 million. It's like, but do you need it? And so some guys are paid pretty damn well and they're still looking for work. Like, why? Why are you doing this? You know? And obviously there's a goal and there's a vision. And that comes back to like the owner taking ownership of their shop and saying, hey, what's your goal in the next 5 years? And that doesn't even need to be in the auto shop. That could be anywhere, right? Like, where do you want to be in 5 years? Like, you want to go buy a yacht? You want to sail the world? You want to, like, what's your goal here? Let's make that happen. And if it's achievable, let's figure out how to make that happen. And that's another part of leadership that is really missed in the auto field, because you just assume you hire a tech and they're going to come in, they do the work, and then that's it. And then you're frustrated by everything else in the world because you as a technician have opened a shop. And so you have a technician mindset. You don't have an entrepreneurial mindset. You don't have that. Have you ever read the book, The E-Myth?
You know what? I had a boss at a production place in Thousand Oaks who was super into E-Myth.
Okay.
And although I had a lot of aspects of this boss that I didn't quite care for, he was an alcoholic, but he would talk about being system dependent over people dependent. And it's probably the biggest lesson I've learned from him. And I will tell this to people, like, if you win the lottery and move to Tahiti, or if you more morbid or macabre is like you get hit by a bus, you're gonna hear tomorrow. Like, is your company able to move on because of systems, or is it all because of you? I have a place that I'm a fan of in Pismo Beach called Puffers. Charlie Puffer has this bar called Puffers of Pismo. It is fun. He has live music. He's got great wine selection, but Charlie Puffer is so magnanimous and just this electrifying individual that, like, if I'm going to Puffers, I want Charlie Puffer to be there. So his place is very people dependent. Now, he knows this. We've talked about this on the air with him and stuff. So I'm not saying anything that he's not aware of, but in the event of something happens to Charlie Puffer, something happens to Puffers of Pismo. Yeah. So if you can have, and I think E-Myth, one of the tenets of this was being system dependent. Mm-hmm. And I really glommed onto that. And I thought E-Myth's, preaching of that was very spot on.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Like, if you want to own a shop and be fishing by noon every day, like, then do that. Mm-hmm. You hire one employee or whatever. Like, whatever your goal of, like, success is your goal. Like, you don't have to look at your neighbor and be like, I need to own a $10 million shop or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, but if you want to progress, that's, like, part of it. And it's like having the technician, the entrepreneur, and having those three different mindsets, right? Where you're either going to be the worker or you're going to be the entrepreneurial spirit, right? There's a third one in there, and I'm drawing a blank on the stupid thing. That's usually how it works.
In E-Myth?
Yeah, there's three different personalities, and I know.
So I didn't get that much into it.
I know whoever's listening is like definitely like screaming at it right now.
Yeah, right.
It's like anyway, and it's like so. The point was like having that technician mindset and not looking back at that 30,000 foot mark and being like, oh, this is my business, and I need to set these systems in place to make sure that it constantly evolves, and I'm putting SOPs in place and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of like the big problem with technician moving into ownership is they don't take that leadership role and they can't see past that, and they don't set it up and ask their technicians, hey man, like we're probably gonna spend a lot of time together for the next 10 years, hopefully. What do you want to do?
And there's a difference between bosses and leaders too. Yeah. And some people who are great leaders might not find themselves in a position to be a boss or even be, maybe even a manager. But like you can tell people when they're born leaders or maybe have curated like leadership qualities. And they talk about some of the things that like you're talking about now. Like we're not just talking about, the efficiency, the bottom line, the acumen. We're talking about like, talking to our the culture, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, what are your goals? Or, how can we you got this problem? Come to me. Mm-hmm. These are leadership qualities. So I think it's great to hear conversations like this happening in an automotive garage, which mm-hmm. I imagine a lot of people, and I'm sure maybe most people listen to this are somewhat familiar with the industry. But for folks that aren't, I would really encourage them to listen to a conversation like this because it's really cool to hear that someone who runs an auto garage is taking these things into consideration.
You have to. And manager, that was the last one. So I knew you'd get it. So the third personality was manager. So you can be entrepreneur, you can be manager, you can be technician.
Right.
We all have these three mindsets in our heads.
Yeah.
And it's all about like delegating. And you're right. Yeah, the manager takes care of that culture.
Yeah.
And you have to breed it. And then you have the technician that wants to work. You have the entrepreneur that does all the other crazy stuff, right? Like, the marketing and
the dreaming,
the vision. Sure. And it's like, and sometimes you get stuck in one of those phases and you're missing it. Mm-hmm. And you either got to hire that position or you got to like look back into it. And so step one is like hire the technicians, and then be the manager to take care of the technicians, right? And then it's like you can have an entrepreneur in the business or you can continue on doing that. It just blows my mind reading that book and seeing and like hearing that. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
How
do auto garages market themselves? I mean, are there certain things is it like getting into like the Auto Trader? Is it getting?
Well, I was hoping to ask you that.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of my thoughts on marketing and getting yourself out there, building relationships, but I'm so curious, like from the inside, what do you notice already happening?
On the marketing standpoint?
Yeah, or how you distinguish yourself from the garage next to you or the garage down the shop.
The ultimate question. And it's so hard to do that in a 30-second or a 1-minute radio ad.
Yeah.
It's so hard to do it on a flyer. Everybody just price. Just be cheaper than the other guy. $10 off, $20 off. I'm guilty of it. I mean, it's just the biggest thing. People like to see money off, right? And you can preach till you're blue in the face about your quality and like, I'm going to answer the phone with a smile and we're going to take care of you and we'll call you back. Like, it doesn't matter. Like you said, people are consumers and they're price conscious and they're just looking for a price. And just like perfect example, shop A, B, and C all know how to do the brakes. It's all exactly the same, right? So you're just looking for the price. Mm-hmm. On the industry side of it, we know like that's not it. Like, some guys aren't replacing the bracket pins. They're not lubing the slide pins. They're not retracting the calipers properly. They're not flushing the brake fluid when they should be. They're not torquing the caliper bolts. Like there's just so many nuances when it comes into just simple as a brake job, right? And you can even say like an oil change. Some guys they're not torquing the drain plug. They're over crushing the washer on the drain plug. So the next time you do it, you got to replace the drain plug. Okay, so it's not that big of a deal, right? Drain plug's $5 or $6. But if you have that car for 200,000 miles, like do you need? It's like, or do you just replace the drain plug every time and make that part of your service?
Yeah.
Or are you filling the oil filter? Are you filling the oil filter with oil so you don't have a dry start on the engine? Like all these things that are coming into play when it comes to having a quality service.
And it's all behind the scenes.
And that's simple stuff.
And it's all behind the scenes. Like the customer doesn't know that. You might save a few bucks if you don't fill the oil filter.
Right.
You might save $6-7 or whatever.
Right.
But like, man, if you just fill that oil filter up, you give me a better product with longer lasting ability. You know what I mean? So it's interesting because, and again, without knowing, you could even have a good rapport with someone or trust somebody on the front end in the front office. But if you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and certainly we're talking about, vets, lawyers, doctors, you guys, like we don't know the ins and outs to even know to ask, are you lubricating my support pins or whatever you said?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I mean?
Exactly.
It's wild.
And it is. That's part of the industry that like really, I mean, it drives me nuts and a lot of other people too. And it's like, whose fault is that? The technician doesn't know better. And if he does know better, then that's shame on him. But then it's like, is it the owner not teaching the tech? Is it like, so where's the disconnect here that we don't know? And it's usually training, and the training is expensive. They can't afford it, and the turnover, and we have a tech shortage. Supposedly, we don't have enough technicians, and so it's like you're allowing these auto technicians to get away with stuff that you normally wouldn't because there's no one to replace them, and it just goes on and on and on. But the point is like always looking for the price. If their price is severely less than anybody else, or even a little less than somebody else, they're cutting a corner somewhere.
Really?
There has to be. There's just no way. Parts are extremely expensive. You can't get cheap parts. There's no wholesale parts, right? And here's the big secret. The parts at O'Reilly's and CarQuest and Napa's the same price we get. And we mark them up. Bottom line. That's all there is to it.
Really?
Absolutely. We do not have any sort of dealer instead of, you can do like Worldpac and they'll help you a little bit. And there's a little incentive if you have a certain amount of parts that you're selling a month, they'll give you a little kickback. But the price that we pay is the price that the walk-in pay. And there is a list price that most auto parts stores will sell it at a list price. But for the most part, like they'll put it under an account and it's like a few dollars less.
Yeah.
But it's not a deeply discounted wholesale price.
Right. No. Like a full on wholesale retail.
Nope. And part of the auto industry is reselling that part for, a 55 to 60% GP. And you have to, because your hourly rate would have to be $300 or $400 an hour if you didn't upsell your parts. So you have your percentage on your labor and you have your percentage on your parts, and then all together, that's what gives you your GP, your gross profit. And then you take your net at the bottom, right after everything else. But yeah, I mean, the parts we get, that's what we pay. We mark them up.
So
and same with the labor. We take our hourly rate and we basically take our lead technician and we take our overhead and we do the math and we say, okay, to take our what we need off the top, this is the hourly rate we need to be. And that takes into account our 55 and 60% GP on parts. Now, we sell a lot of transmissions. Well, you can't put, that's 120% markup. You can't do that on a transmission, right? $2,500, you're talking about selling a trans for like $4,000. Like, you can't do it.
Right.
So then you lose your profit, your percentage on that trans. So then that goes over to the spark plug. So now you're selling a $3 spark plug for $25. Well, you can't do that either, because you know damn well you go down there and you can get them for $5 a piece, right? And so then you have to find this, like, and it's this constant dance of making sure that you're not. Yeah, it's a dance.
Is it insulting if I come to you to fix something on my car and I say, I'm going to grab the part, I'm going to bring it into you?
I want to dive into that. what is the mindset behind
Save
that?
money on the part.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, right? It's the reason.
So I don't know if I call it insulting. It's definitely
Is it a douchey thing to do?
No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Everyone wants to save money, but it's a no-go. I mean, for us, we don't do that. And a lot of other shops don't.
It's like when I go to the vet and my vet says, you need to get this. And I go, okay, do you care? Because like I could walk out with this medicine for my dog from your place and it's going to cost me $140. Or I can go to Costco with your prescription and I can get it for $65.
Yeah.
I choose to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, don't hate, but so with you guys won't do that. Why? Because there's like a liability if you get the parts or whatever, or what?
You could point a finger at that. There's a little bit of that. Our quality service is 3-year, 36,000 mile nationwide warranty. We have to buy the part and install the part to get that. Doesn't matter. Some parts claim their lifetime warranty. If it fails, whatever. The bottom line is our algorithms, our math, everything that we've done, the hourly rate that we've come to is all based on the fact of taking these parts and making our percentage on it. So installing a part that we didn't buy, right, or doesn't have our markup on it, our hourly rate would have to be $300 an hour to make that job profitable, right? So if we just did like a labor ticket with no parts on there, that screws the whole everything, right? And yeah,
so that's
the bottom line.
So if someone does come, even though they may just be trying to save themselves a little money, still respect the work you're about to do to the car.
Yep.
In what I'm understanding from you, like that's really not a fair thing to do, because
not for the business.
You've already equated all these numbers out,
right?
Just so,
right.
So I guess that's interesting to know. Okay, that
and,
makes sense.
And it's what's a way to put it? I mean, you win some and you lose some, right? So it all comes out in the wash.
Yeah.
And so it's really at the point where we've had it, mathed out.
Yeah.
Where it's like we know. Like we're gonna make our whatever our net profits that we want to make at the end of the year. 20%, fantastic. That'd be great if we get 20%.
Right.
But it's like whatever it is that we're trying to achieve for that year, it's like we've got all that algorithm. We got to figure it out. Is 1 or 2 going to kill that? No, but it's like you can't make a habit of that, right? It's like this is our procedure. This is our process.
Like there might be exceptions, but there's still the rule.
Yeah, and it's like in that situation, it's hard to make that exception because it just screws the numbers up. And then you're looking at the numbers, and now next quarter you realize that your percentages are down. So now you bump up your labor rate, or you bump up your percentage to make up that difference. And now you've just cheated this person out because they could have paid a few dollars less.
You have difficult clients that will do that. Customers that will just, oh man, here comes Jim. He's such a pain in the ass with that damn car, and he's always doing this. Like, do you have certain people that are just like nightmares to deal with?
I don't know about nightmares. We got pretty good clients.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
that's good.
It's just the human interaction. It's just like you see anybody.
It's always like a roll of the dice, right?
Yeah, and it's about what's going on that day. Like, I don't have time for a conversation today, and like, I'm about to be talking for about 30 or 45 minutes today,
Yeah.
And you just do it, and it's like I've realized that's my job. That's what I do. Just get in there and do it. Yeah, there's a blacklist. I mean, there's plenty of.
You have a blacklist?
There's definitely. We don't. Yes and no.
So there's like, if he comes in here or she comes in here,
It's a DNR.
Do not
repair.
Wow, you got a DNR. Do not resuscitate. If their car's dead, do not resuscitate.
Yeah.
DNR. Wow, do not repair.
Yeah.
So they come in now, even if they're coming in with their, '06 Acura MDX, or they're coming in with their '65 Mustang. This is just a difficult client.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's about the interaction and the communication, and we can't like
he was rude to the gal up front, he was.
You spend 10 or 15 minutes on the intake, 10 or 15 minutes on the outtake, and it's not like I'm like counting the minutes, but that's part of the process. Like,
take payments. What if someone's really struggling and did a big job on their car?
So we do like Synchrony. So Synchrony has a who are we using now? There's credit card companies that work with auto shop specifically.
So like qualify for something and get
on. The Synchrony credit card for like dental work.
I've heard of
have you done
again,
that?
Not to bring it back to pets, but there's like care credit, or if you're doing your vet.
Same thing.
Yeah,
same thing.
It's okay.
Yeah,
so you fill out something, you qualify for it, and then got it.
Yeah, they pay us, and then they pay back the 12 months no interest or whatever it is. But yeah, we don't do even checks. Checks are getting hard to take too.
Really?
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing is the chargeback.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll run a $2,500 credit card, and then like 4 days later, they'll do a chargeback.
Because they call their credit card company to cancel
it. And they're just upset about the repair.
Oh. What do you take? You go after them, right?
There's nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do?
Nothing you can do. Nope.
You can't take them to small claims? Like, no, I just did this job for you.
I mean, if it was a $10,000 chargeback, but
that puts them on the DNR, though, for sure, right?
Oh, that's a for sure DNR.
That's got to be DNR. Because it's like stealing from you.
Or
I mean, unless you really did something that they really have a rightful argument to make, and if you didn't go to the mat and try and address it with them, But if you went to the mat, tried to address it with them, and all this stuff, I feel that's like stealing from you. That's not cool.
It is stealing. Yeah.
If you came in good faith, did the repairs what you thought in good faith, and are just merely having a disagreement with the customer, it should be able to be resolved.
Right.
If they just straight do a chargeback, I feel that's like taking work that you've done and then it's stealing from you.
Yeah. Not even a phone call. And it's the same with like Yelp reviews and Google reviews.
Oh man.
You know what I mean?
The fact that
do you ever get that on with your radio program? Do you get like
I'll get listeners that call. People will listen. They will swear that they heard you say something that you can prove you never said. Like it literally, it's on public airwaves that are recorded every time my mic is on. So we'll go back and listen to it. I can prove I never said it. But people, because we call this in radio, there's a saying called perception is reality. It might even be you could probably apply that to customers of your business too. If you think something, if you know it.
Yeah.
I heard it. I know it. It's there. It's real. Where it's like, well, no, not really.
Yeah.
But so that perception of reality is definitely part of it. But also, like, there is no Yelp review page for Adam Montiel as a radio host or a broadcaster. Thank God, right?
So you didn't get like letters to the studio and
sure, here and there, but mostly they're good. Like, I think by far in the majority of my 20+ year radio career, the amount of look at one of the worst things where I got feedback from was I made a joke in the new year about people who do dry January. They always want to tell you about it. Like if you're doing dry January, it's like you have to tell everyone about it. Like you're just, and I'm like, these dry January people, they always got to preach to you that they're doing it. It's like they don't feel fulfilled unless they tell 3 people a day all month long and they're doing dry January. We're just making fun of it, right? It's morning radio. Yeah. And I figure we're trying to talk to other people that are like that. CrossFit people got to tell you that they're into the CrossFit.
That's true. Yeah,
sorry, bro, it's a CrossFit, or I can't, I'm going to CrossFit. Or people who don't have a TV in their house. People who don't have a TV in their house, they love to tell you, no, we don't have a TV in our house. They just love to tell you. And then I said vegans. Vegans freaking love to let you know that they're vegan when like people do not care.
The tattoo on their arm.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, of course, I never got a surge of emails from people who don't have TVs in their house. I did not get a surge of emails from people who do CrossFit. I didn't even get a surge of emails from people who do dry January. Who do you think I got a surge of bitchy emails from? Vegans.
The non-meat eaters.
They love to go to task and just it's like letters to my general manager. And of course, we're all just sitting back and reading these, just like laughing at it. But, these vegans, they love, he shouldn't talk about, so. And it was a joke.
Yeah.
So
it's a joke. It's like the whole thing,
And it really just proved my point. Like, here we go, So so there you go.
It's nice to be able to laugh at it. It's hard not to take it personally when we get I mean, even if it's like without even any context behind it. It's like you get that 1-star review and it just like hits. It's like, what? Really?
Well, because you care. I mean, I don't know you all that well. I met you just a couple days ago, but it's like you can tell when there's like a sentient dude or gal, like, I care about what I do.
Yeah.
This is what I'm good at. It's the talent that God gave me. I'm using it to feed my family and support where I live and support my livelihood. And if you're going to come, ish on it, that hurts.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and circling back, it's like not even getting the chance to fix it. It's like everything was fine. The day's good. We closed out the till, whatever. We're going home. And then like the next morning, there's a 1-star review. It's like, I didn't even
did you even call me?
There wasn't even like an argument or like what happened? And I don't know. Like they picked up and they left.
And unfortunately, we are in an area and at a time where because of Yelp and all these things are almost like this opportunity for a person who goes to a restaurant to become a food critic. Yeah. You're not a food critic. You went to a restaurant. So if you're going to like talk about your one, even if I have a one experience that's bad at a place, I will never go give them a 1-star Yelp review. Now, if something happened to me heinous at a place,
right,
that was like literally, I want other people to know this so they don't engage in the same thing. I don't think I've ever done it, but I certainly would. I wouldn't be above it. Like I would, but if I have one bad place experience at a place, I'm not going to Yelp to tell the world about it. Like, no.
Yeah.
Because some places have bad days.
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't actively have a conversation.
And I'll speak up. I mean, I would speak up anyways. Yeah.
Right. You talk to them, you say, hey, this happened. And if they just denied your request to make it better, like, that could probably serve to head that direction, right?
You walk out the door, you're like, see you on Yelp.
Yeah. But I get that a lot too. They're like, I get the ones where they want a price or they get upset and it's like, well, you want me to give you a review on Yelp? And it's like, are you threatening me right now? Like, are you seriously? We are like mediating this right now. And now you're throwing a bad review into the ring.
I understand that's not a fair thing for you to hear, but I almost think that you would be best to like educate them in that moment. Be like, you know what? It's really not something that I love that you said that, but it's really not something that you just wield around like that. Cause it's not, your Yelp account isn't a sword that's meant to threaten me. Because first of all, I'm not threatened by it, but also it doesn't make you look good.
Right.
Now I will go to somewhere and I'll be like, by the way, this was a fantastic stay and I'm going to leave a Yelp review. And they go, oh my God, because a positive Yelp review, first of all, 100 people could have a great experience somewhere, but only 1 or 2 people might leave a good Yelp review.
Right.
But so many people might use and wield that account as a bad thing to like punish or be punitive. And it shows really more about them than it does about the business. Now, that doesn't mean that when I go to a hotel, I don't check out what TripAdvisor says. If I'm looking at a hotel and I see 11 comments that mention bed bugs, probably not going to stay at that hotel.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm also reading some of these, like we did a road trip through Mendocino County in the fall, stayed at all these little different like B&Bs, little farm places, just fun little spots. And, some of the Yelp reviews, I loved this owner because anyone that said something a little bit off or kind of ripped them because they're like old school, like they had old school, like microscopes. It was a really kitschy place. It was cool. Lots of character. But some people were like, everything in here is old or everything, and it's like, that's the point. And the way the owner would just like meticulously, politely just eviscerate them. It was like comical.
Those are the best.
I'm like, you gotta read these Yelp reviews odds. This is so good. I'm telling my fiance. And she did it with such a loving heart. You couldn't go like, cause she could have been even more like venomous to them because they were so just punitive the way they brought stuff up. But it was the way she did it was just so artful. It was so artfully worded.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So man, the Yelps, huh? I have a lot of friends that own restaurants and stuff. Like Yelps are just, I feel bad for a lot of it. And then what happens when someone gets in the news? Someone gets in the news for something, their business, people leaving Yelp reviews for the business that's never even been there.
Oh yeah.
You've seen this, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Yelp has a whole division now where they will you call a place and they'll shut it. Okay, we'll shut down, things for this because of XYZ, because something happened in the news or whatever. I had a local friend that just happened to. Yeah, totally.
People just leaving reviews just to try to get their name.
They read about a company in the news for a news article.
Yeah.
And they go, what's the way I can hurt this company from a state away? Oh, I'll just leave a Yelp review for that place.
Well, that's the other thing too. You have the secret shoppers, like the ones that you have a different business. It's like they think we're competition, and then they want to leave a bad review because your competition. Man, you have a lot of learning to do.
No, it honestly shows more about their insecurity, and those do blow. Like they really feel like a blow to the stomach, and it sucks. But in the end, a person like that, they're just not happy.
Right?
Like, it sucks. And they got you that one, one check for them, but in the end, like they're gonna come out a loser.
Right?
They just are.
Yeah, and it's part of the industry too, where we get a lot of shops that show up, or like you said on the Craigslist, you get these mobile mechanics rolling around, and they're doing it half price, and it's like it sucks, right? Because we know there's something getting missed. They're either not paying themselves enough, which they should be making money, right? Profit's not a bad word. They should be making money. They should be buying tools. They should be bettering themselves, education, buying a new whatever they need to do with their life, but they're not. So eventually they're going to fizzle out. In the meantime, we're losing this business, and people aren't getting a quality repair, right? And we get these vehicles in all the time. Hey, I've been going to so-and-so for the last 2 years, and everything should be good, but now he's not around anymore. And we look at like, oh, man, this thing needs a lot of work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's
a lot of, really? He said he's taking care of everything. It's like, no, all your maintenances are out. This part wasn't installed right. This isn't done right. And it's like, and that's the problem with the vehicles. They will keep driving, and that's another hard thing to say. Well, does it need to be done right now? It's like, oh, if it was mine, no, right? But it's like vehicles just keep rolling. They just keep going, right? Yeah. And it's like, that's when it gets really expensive. It starts damaging other components and, especially with fluids. Like you lack your maintenance in your fluids. Yeah, you could probably go 10 years on transmission fluid, but then that's it. But if you were to service it every 3 years during those 10 years, you'd get another 10 years out of it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so it's like, it's just this progressive that like all of a sudden 10, 15 years down the road, the vehicle's trashed, right? And in this day and age, we're getting a lot of that stuff getting back on the road. Well, no, let's fix everything. It's going to be like $15,000 to do this. And it's like an 01 Chevy pickup. You sure you want to do that? Absolutely. I'm not buying a $60,000 piece of junk. It's like, that's a fair point.
Yeah. So what do you think about EV cars? Are these easy to work on? Are they a pain in the ass? It feels like just from a cost standpoint, they're more expensive to have. There was an article I read recently where like the average cost of an EV vehicle is equal to like $17 a gallon as far as gas. Of course, who wants to do a road trip and have to sit in a parking lot for an hour or two?
I have no ill will against EVs. I think there's a prime opportunity. I think needs to be shoved down everybody's throat.
Agreed.
I think it's like a great option, and I think it will blossom as any other great thing in the automotive industry does if it's treated properly.
If it's in the free market.
Exactly.
If it's forced down your throat, it might not.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with it. Why do I, like with solar? Like solar was doing great until the government mandated it, and now all of a sudden it's like, I don't want that. Why? Well, because there's government subsidies. I don't want anything to do with that, right?
Yeah, I know,
and you lost a huge amount of people that were going to do it. Like
totally.
Yeah, no, I don't. The government's not here to help me. Sorry.
Make a great point.
I'm not doing it. And that's the problem with EV. We're already on the fence, and then you just pushed a bunch of people off. I think I love the technology. Hybrids and Priuses. Oh, like sure, you can shit on Prius all you want, right? Like
it's a pickup and goes. Those things.
Well, it's not even that. It's just the technology behind it is just like it's so cool. Like to really dive in to see how they're able to take an electric motor and regen and have the brake regen and then turn this motor from a generator to an alternator and have this transistor board that does it like seamlessly, where you hit the gas, you're using power, right? You release the gas, it's instantly generating on brake gen, like that. And you can sit there and go gas, brake, gas all day long, and it's just switching back and forth. And the amount of technology to make that work is so mind blowing.
It is crazy
that it doesn't get the recognition it deserves, in my opinion.
We rented a Wagoneer for our big road trip. That was a fun, SUV to drive. And it's like you get to a red light, and this was not a hybrid by any stretch, but you get to a red light in these like new cars now, and like it feels like the car is off, and then as soon as you hit the gas lightly, it sounds like the car's starting.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what went down there? Like that's
the
science right there.
Yeah, the start-stop technology.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And then like the whole idea of like you kind of like drifting on the roadway. It's like, I got you. Like, it's like,
a little buzz in your seat.
What is going on? Yeah. Or the steering wheel kind of moves. Like,
right.
I don't know if I like this or not.
Right.
Yeah. Cars are a trip, and especially the way they're evolving.
Yeah. And you have to stay up on top of that stuff. You have to pay your technicians because there's no letter that we get, right? Like they don't send us a, hey, this is the new stuff and this is how you fix it. No, you have to actively, as a technician, go seek that education and that training and learn how to do that.
So new things like right now, like if I call you and say, hey, my 2023 Wagoneer, I don't feel like when it's, supposed to whip me back into the lane after I fall asleep, it's not doing it quick enough. Do you say actually go to the dealership? That's some new warranty shit. I'm not doing that.
I mean, obviously that'd be a warranty in 2023, but to your point, that would be like practicing law, practicing medicine. Bring it in and we'll take a look at it, but then you got to have the ADAS machines, and that's the big lasers that calibrate all your laser points, right? So you have to have this equipment that's extremely expensive to be able to calibrate it. And that's a whole nother conversation about the different levels of that calibration that it requires.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do like a two-wheel alignment or a four-wheel alignment. It's not the same thing, right? And you can have someone align your vehicle with a tape measure, or you can use a Hunter alignment machine.
Right.
They both say they're doing alignments, right? And they're both $159.99, right?
Right.
And that's where it comes into that consumer point. Like, this guy's doing it with a freaking tape measure and a 2x4, and this guy's got an $80,000 alignment machine,
Right.
Which one do you think is going to get it dialed?
Exactly.
And when we get into like the lane delineation and the lasers, if that laser's 2 degrees off, just think about how far it's shooting when you're 100 feet down the road. And if you're expecting this vehicle to stop for you, if you're not paying attention, because that's the next thing, we're all going to like forget how to freaking pay attention because the car's stopping for you.
Right.
And you don't get that laser calibrated correctly and you're just 2 degrees off, you're talking about 100 meters off down the road.
That's a trip. I'd never even considered that.
And the laser calibration is the technician's discretion. It's not a safety feature right now, so there is no like standards. So you're literally calibrating it to the technician's standards. Now there is placards and like it's a pretty foolproof system. They're obviously trying to make it as dummy proof as possible. So the guy doing it's like, okay, I need to point it here and here we go. But it's still a thing. Like you can calibrate it and get the computer to say you're good to go, right? And then down the road you go, but it's off. There's actually reports of guys going down after getting calibrated, and there's a trash can that's maybe 6 feet off the curb, right? Well, that auto stops the laser's not pointing. It hits that trash can and it stops the car in the middle of the lane.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like manufacturers are making cars harder for you and your compatriots to work on?
I don't know if it's the harder. They don't want people touching it. They want it to
even
go They want to go to the dealer. They want it to go back to the manufacturer, go back to the dealer, do their checks and balances, make sure everything's in house so they can keep track of what's going on. They don't want the independent shops. The Right to Repair Act, right? They're trying to make it so
what's that? That's a law?
That's a law that's trying to be passed so that all the proprietary information is only from the dealer or the manufacturer, right?
So like the manufacturers are lobbying for this.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys have good people lobbying for your side?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I'm behind it.
Are you cool? Good.
Yeah.
So am I. That's
the Vegas to SEMA show we're at. They were promoting it there, and you can donate to it. And there's a lot out there that it's hard because people take advantage of it too. So you donate to a fund, and you're hoping that it's going to that, right? You're hoping, but it's like with the smartphones. It's the same thing. They want to take the proprietary information and make sure only Apple can deal with it.
Yeah.
You can't open the phone. You can't deal with it. You can't fix it. But I own this phone, right?
And as soon as you do, you lose the warranty.
But we've already got away with it.
Right.
Like they've already done it.
Yeah.
You own that phone. I own my phone.
Sure.
And we can't fix it or we void our warranty. And it's like, it's right in front of our eyes. It already happened to like $1,000 piece of equipment that's in our pocket. Like,
that's a great point.
And it's just around the corner before it gets into our vehicles. And it's like, you have heated seats. Well, there's a subscription for that. And you have to make sure you come to our dealership to have it fixed or have it renewed or have whatever, right? So all that new technology going on these vehicles, they're gonna make it proprietary so that only the dealer, only the manufacturer can deal with it.
Do you think you have a good chance of beating that? You and your
I
colleagues?
Hope so. I mean, it's a huge. I mean, it's a nationwide thing, and I just hope consumers I just hope everybody like realizes what's going on.
What's the craziest car you've ever worked on? You ever work on a car where you're like, I just don't want to mess this up? Like, it's too nice of a car, like a, Lamborghini, Rolls Royce or something.
I think every one of them, I feel like that.
Yeah, really. Yeah, of course.
But the nicest car, I don't know. I think it's just personal preference at that point.
You ever test drive a car a little longer than normal just because you like it?
Another good question.
Got all the questions, dude.
I feel like, no, not longer than I should.
Yeah.
I honestly don't like test driving too much. It just, people make me super nervous.
The worst thing is like, if let's say you hear a noise in your car, you're going to take it to someone like you. And then when that noise won't reproduce for you.
Oh my God.
It's like, come on. It's like right when I get Jimmy in the car, the noise isn't making, it's not even
like
happening anymore.
Going to the dentist and your tooth stops hurting.
Yeah, right.
Same damn thing. Yeah.
I bet you also hear some weird mouth noises. People telling you like, it's making the sound like, what kind of sound? You're like, it almost sounds like it's all factory.
I don't get that. No,
they don't do mouth noises for you.
Not too much. Maybe with Leanne, and I don't front the office too much, so they probably hear that a lot more. But even when I answer the phone a lot more than I do now, I didn't get too much of that. No, people were pretty.
I did this one crank call on the air one time on my morning show. I called a piano repair person. And I said, hey there, I got this old piano. I need someone to come by and take a look at it. They're like, oh yeah, what's it? What's going on? And I said, I don't know, it's doing this. And I played like a note on a piano. And then I did like, I had like a factory, almost like an old like jalopy kind of like machine sound, like old school hyperbolic exaggerated sounds. And the person was like, I don't know. What did you just do? Hold on, let me see. I'll try one more thing. Hold on. And then you hit like the middle C or something on the piano, and it's like, so funny. I should call you. I should call Leanne.
You should.
I should call Leanne. Don't tell her. I should call Leanne. And I'm going to do this to her. Hey, I got like a 06 MDX, and every time I push this one button, and she goes, I don't know what it is. That'd be hilarious.
I don't know what she would do with that.
She'd probably be nice because the first time I talked to her on the phone, she was super sweet.
Yeah, she would be nice.
Yeah.
She'd probably talk you in circles until you finally just made an appointment to bring it in.
Right, yeah.
Just keep going around in a circle.
I love it. Oh, it's so good.
Well, I guess the last part I want to talk about a little bit more is a little bit of marketing.
Yeah.
If you have any tips or tricks that...
Yeah, I mean, as far as marketing, I mean, look, I feel like there's a difference between networking and building relationships. I think being a part of your community, being a part, and honestly, look, I mean, like the stuff that we've talked about and the stuff I've learned about you before, I jumped on the air with you. And right now it's like, these are all the tenets of like good people in the community that are doing X, Y, and Z for business that you want to get to know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I think you have a lot of these like inherent heartfelt tendencies already, which are good. You're like, oh, drop the curtain, be open, especially with a business that we already know is known or at least has a reputation, fair or not, whatever your opinion, for holding a lot behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And, behind the eyes of the consumer is to drop that, which it sounds like you guys do. I mean, I think also, whether we know that lens correctly or not in the way we look at you, price does matter. So, showing someone, look, yeah, I got a lot of bottom lines to worry about. We got to keep this algorithm correct and true, but we're going to try and offer you like the best deal and keep things affordable. Like I know times are tough. We got a economy right now that's only looking, more unsure. So, but people need their cars too. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think, whether it's, there's always a lot of different aspects too. I mean, there's the aspect of marketing when you have your name on the back of like a 10-year-old's baseball team and, and you're like sponsoring something small like that. There's like that hometown feel. There's things when you get involved with like maybe a nonprofit or stuff like that. Those things create like community feel. Beyond just like your XYZ, I mean, it'd be interesting to like dig deeper into social media and see how different companies like yourselves distinguish them from each other. Yeah. I think, doing something that is often very heady and very above most people's circle of knowledge, having an approachable social media where it's like fun to watch and like there's a little bit irreverence, but it also educates. And it's like, hey, what am I doing? I'm consulting with a company now, a distillery for their social media. It's like, okay, let's talk about education. How do we educate you? Like, honestly, I would love to have you on my show I would love to just have you just ask, what are the questions? How can you arm a person like me to ask the best questions to get the best out of someone like you?
Right.
And I think your social media can have these prongs where it's like, okay, 1, it's education. 2, it's behind the scenes. It's fun. I just recorded a podcast with this radio guy who brought a bottle of wine in and like That's how we opened it, and you show it. Like, that's why I videoed you. That'd be a funny, charming reel to show this is what Jimmy was thinking when he was, using his brain, but in a very non kind of automotive intelligent way. There's aspects of like how you're differentiating yourself from, your fellow competitors, and, but really educating and showing behind the scenes. And, I think those are really important in social media.
And do you think the parallels of like the humanity aspect of it, of trying to hide your faults, like did you, and through your career on the radio, was there a lot of times where you made a mistake and you tried to cover it up, or you were just like, this is the name of the game and I'm rolling with it? So I feel like that's a
great question.
Yeah,
I think one. I mean, I can answer it two ways. One, there's been many times where I've made mistakes on the radio, and you come back, you own it, because people are inherently very forgiving, and the more real you are with them, the more they understand that you're just a real dude who just happens to be behind a microphone talking to, a lot of people. But there are, there are little things within, that are inconsequential that you'll be like, oh, what I do? Let me go fix that. And it might not even be necessary to bring it up. But if you can be on the radio and, something is playing, you have one button just missing on the board up, and a phone call comes in, and a little piece of that phone call gets on the air during a song, and you get a text like, hey, by the way, I can hear that caller. It's like, it's a little embarrassing. And then you're like, that just happened. And to the people who heard it, mentioning it in 4 minutes when that song is over, a lot of the same people aren't even there. They might have already forgot about it. It doesn't really serve you to bring it up. Now, if a big mistake happens, or you say something that's incorrect, or you took a stance that maybe you have second thoughts on, I think it does make sense to own up to your audience and say, hey, look, I missed the mark on that one. Oh my gosh, letting, if you have a co-host and something happens where you guys both take two sides differently on something and they end up being right, let them bring it back to you. Like, I got you on that one. You know what? You were right. Because those things work in real life. Yeah. If you have a fight with your wife and she's right on something, it makes sense to be like, honey, you were right as always, babe. Like,
I always do that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, those things make sense because they make you look real. They make you look relatable. And when you can admit to being fallible, I think you, become more affable. You become more likable, and it's because it's relatable.
And I think, like I said, I think the parallels of like marketing, doesn't matter what it is, but especially in the auto industry, having that social media presence and then not being so structured. I feel like we're in the time in the generation where like there was a curve in the middle, right? And I can't remember the name of the video, but there's a video that talked about like we always marketed for the curve, or we always like wanted to be in the middle of this curve, this big hump where everybody came together and we're all like, oh, we work 9 to 5 and we do this, and this is what we do. This is America. And it's like, now it's come to the point where it's like, there's these outskirts where it's like, oh, we were a social media influencer, right? We're a radio host, we're podcaster. And it's like these ends, right, are now becoming what everybody's like looking up to. They're no longer looking at politicians. They're no longer looking at like these people that are in these positions of power, right?
Yeah.
It's all about like these social media influencers, and it's like they're taking the maybe too far, taking a lot of it for verbatim when they shouldn't be. But
no, sure.
But it's like, I think maybe like you said, like the showing their flaws and their faults is what's like, oh, made it relatable. Like, I do the same damn thing, but you watch these politicians and they don't skip a beat, they don't miss anything. You're like, you just don't relate to that,
and they certainly don't admit when they're wrong.
Right. Of course not. No, like I never make a mistake, Like,
yeah. Yes. Sharing those things I think is important.
I've never told a lie.
Yeah. Right. Sharing, educating people on stuff. Again, if we're like in the realm of social media, educating, showing stuff behind the scenes that's kind of fun and stuff I would never get a chance to see unless I'm like in your space, in your thing, or, hey, look, Julio was doing this and look what he came up on in this, and oh my God, there's like a squirrel we found in this, whatever. I don't know, anything that kind of like makes you guys go, what? Like, share that, Yeah. And one thing I think, folks mistake on their social media is they treat it like their social media feed is like this curated art piece. When, I know businesses will go, well, it's Wednesday. We post this on Wednesday, or we can't post this. It's not Friday.
Good point.
And like I listen to Gary Vee, who's a hell of a lot smarter on this than I am. But if you have something that's worthy, just post it. Like, don't treat it like it's because no one's scrolling down 2 months in your feed to see what you did 2 months ago. Like, or how like just so it looks.
Yeah.
No one's doing that. So if you got something, get it out to the people that are following you. It's not hitting all of them anyways.
On your back to your radios, did you ever have a script and you try to stay to the script and you're like, if I don't stay on my script, everyone's gonna know that I'm off base?
No, sometimes a script you'll try and stay on it. You're like, who the F wrote this? This is horrible. And you'll try and get permission from a client. Like, I need to, do you mind if a lot of times you'll ask someone, do you mind if I kind of, make this my own? And they're like, no, I hope you do. Like, because if they're paying you extra, they're coming to you for an ad.
Yeah.
They obviously want your like delivery. My voice can read whatever you put in front of me, but is that going to necessarily sell what we want to sell or get people to walk into your business? It might not.
I always had the issue of like, not so much doing radio ads, but I'd have like a script for the morning show and I know the topics I want to talk about. And so
outlines are good.
I would try to stay on that. And if I got off topic and I'm like, I got to get back to my list. Like I knew like everyone listening was like knew what I wrote down. I wanted to get through that.
No one knew.
But no one knew what the hell.
Exactly.
It was like so weird how I wanted.
If great radio is happening and you are getting taken off your list, use the rest of that list for the next show.
Right.
I mean, it's good to have, especially if you're coming into, you're relatively new in broadcast radio. If you're coming into radio and you're, God, I think it's great that you even make, an outline. So, like, hey, what am I going to be talking about for the next, X amount of time?
Yeah. Well, that's why I like when I talk about the podcast, like I don't even want a script. Like I've learned in the first year was like, I'm not doing that because it was terrible. I'd go back and listen to myself and I could tell I was like trying to do something and no one knew what I was trying to do.
You're very good at this. I feel this conversation has flowed really good. For someone who's interviewing me, you were very ingratiating when you saw me asking you questions, and then it made me feel comfortable. Like, hey, because I just inherently do that, and that probably would have happened anyways from what I do, one for a living. But
I picked up on that.
The way I am. I was like that when I was a sperm. I just always have been like this. So, but you reeled with that really well, like, and you hold conversation really well. And oftentimes, like, I just recorded a podcast with, some people right before I came here, and, I have their names and their websites and their stuff in front of me, couple ideas, but you didn't even have that. Like, you rolled with this really well. Like, I'm very impressed. You hold conversation. You hold conversation remarkably well.
I'm just interested,
It's cool. And that's great.
I enjoy doing this. That's the whole thing. Like,
yeah, that's what's cool. You do it with a smile on your face. You're good at it. You have good voice. Like, no, it's working out well. I hope this podcast does some really exceptional stuff for you.
Right on. Well, I appreciate you coming in.
This was fun, dude.
This was fun.
I'm going to have you on mine.
It was fun to actually meet you and it's just.
Yeah, this is cool. I'm going to have you on my show. Yeah. I want to ask a lot of questions, and I want to call into your KPRL show.
You should.
Yeah.
Give me a really hard time.
Prime the pump with just some questions. Yeah.
Everybody always I mean, what you said about in the beginning before we were recording was like that kind of tips and tricks is like, just to kind of bring this full circle. That's what makes people that are skilled at what they do worth money. Not just getting a mic and talking into it, not just getting a car and replacing a part, all those little nuances. You're right. Like,
dude, you're right.
That's the sprinkle of gold. That's like, I don't know.
That's honestly the best way you could have brought this whole conversation around. You're absolutely right, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Good point, dude.
Thanks for coming in.
Dude, thanks for having me.